Well, guys, this is something I don't really do very often, which is cover Forerunner patch notes. But there were a lot of things that caught my eye in this one, and I just had to cover it. It's currently like 7:20 a.m. I should be asleep. I was going to sleep, and then people told me about this. And there were a couple things, like malware changes. There's a bunch of changes there. There's like 10 new exclusive gears, a lot of GVG changes, including nerfs, which are actually really good nerfs, and I'll explain why in a second. We're also getting exclusive artifacts. Let's just say Boreas is going to be the strongest AoE mage in the game, ridiculously strong. Talon's getting better. We're also getting ancient hammers, by the way, which is ridiculous. So you're going to be able to reforge your ancients. That's only some of the stuff coming. I'm going to go over it with you guys today. Now, before we get into it, I mean, if you were close to 10k subs, if you want to support the channel, I've been saying on like every video lately, and I know it's probably a bit annoying, but it has been working so well, so I have to say it. I've been on the grind, you know, it's 7:20 a.m., so just gotta throw that out there if you would like, but there's no pressure. Anyways, let's get into this very, very quickly. I'm gonna try to go through this as fast as I can while still highlighting it. Keep in mind though, this is on Forerunner. None of these changes are promised to come to global, okay? But generally, most of these come about a month after the Forerunner patch notes, which is tomorrow when this update goes live on Forerunner. So if you're on global, it'll probably be a month or so from now. Just keep an eye on the patch notes for global. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into this. First of all, we have a bunch of hero changes. The main one that I want to highlight is Malric. So Malric previously was very held back by his mechanics. Not only that, he's kind of a mediocre unit, definitely my worst tested one, and the video I regret the most on my channel is probably the Malric testing. I really regret it because he's just not very good, and he's not even usable in GVG. But hopefully this changes a little bit. So it changes the talent from granting a Wizard's Rune to the next hero deployed in attack range, to granting a Wizard's Rune to the ally with the highest attack in attack range. The talent only takes effect once per deployment for Malric. Now this is huge because not only does it insinuate that it'll work in GVG, if it doesn't work in GVG, I'm going to be very disappointed, but this may work there. It also works similarly to Invig, and Malric was very confusing to use, and like I said, didn't work in Guild versus Guild. So maybe this changes it, and if so, that's huge. But not only that, the A1 has his vulnerability increased from 10% to 25%, which is an insane buff for a single target potential. Even though it doesn't increase his damage, increasing everyone else's damage is always good. And then we get Elemental Covenant. Ice Storm AoE damage multiplier increased from 45% to 55%. More damage is always good. It was really hard to swap his form to the AoE form, which is generally what you wanted to use, so hopefully this makes it easier. Moving on to Tallulah. Tallulah gets a massive glow up in this patch. First of all, this one's not huge, but it optimizes the targeting logic for the ultimate, which now prioritizes allies with debuffs, making the cleanses more consistent. Good change, nothing too crazy. Then we move on to Zilla, who also got some glow ups here. With Empress Might, the trigger condition has been adjusted from charges energy after 3 seconds of not dealing damage to charges energy after 3 seconds of not dealing direct damage. Now, to me, I don't use Zilla that much, and I haven't gone too deep into it. The way this kind of sounds to me is burning will no longer reset her stacks, which will allow her to do more damage. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what it seems. Either way, good change, clearly there for a reason. Now we get into some brief Guild Wars stuff. Season 10 starts. There's new keeps, defense tower maps for the new season. I don't know what they are. Can't show them, unfortunately. And then we have new avatar border and emote rewards, of course. We are also getting a new demon soldier, the Golden Guard, which will obviously be added the same way that all of them are. And then the previous season demon soldier Batwing's Banshee, which is the flying one, can now be obtained from gear raids and mystery demon chests, which is coming in a future update to global. Now we're also getting golden guards, like I said, and they continuously accelerate when deployed. Upon collision with the blocking target, deals damage to both the collision target and itself, and stuns adjacent heroes around the collision target. This is the same way as the Gear Aid 2 enemies, which is literally what this is. They just run into you, deal damage. These things hit very hard, and the stuns are going to be very interesting, and I'm not sure how they're going to spice up GVG, but I definitely like the idea. Very interesting unit there. Moving on to the fourth change, we have a martial system. This is one of the fundamental GVG changes that I'm actually not upset about. This honestly doesn't seem at all bad. This seems like a very interesting thing to add. During the preparation phase, guild leader and vice leaders can appoint 4 commanders as marshals. Each marshal can launch 3 additional attacks, so instead of 5, they can attack 8 times per round. And marshal appointments can be adjusted during each weekly preparation phase. If no marshals are appointed, the system will automatically appoint them based on seasonal contribution and BP from highest to lowest when entering the battle phase. Now this is huge, because the main reason why the attacks were reduced from 8 to 5 is because not everyone could handle 8 attacks. It's just a simple fact. Now obviously someone like me, who might, enjoy doing it, sometimes I want to do 8 attacks. But also sometimes, especially recently, I have not. So by having this flexibility, it's very nice. Some people just have more time, have more energy to put towards GVG, and just want to attack more. And I think this is a good system to allow people who don't want to attack so often, not have to attack so often. And the people who do, they can attack more often as well. I like this change a lot, actually. I think it's very interesting, very unique, and I'm happy about it. Central keeps are also being adjusted from 90 to 120, making it so you need 4 attacks to beat them once again. We also have Season 9 start times. That's Forerunner, you don't have to worry about it. And then we get to the main meat of the patch notes, which is the gear. So I'm going to try to go through this pretty quick. All you got to know here is, with the gear, exclusive gear, something very, very, very important, even if you think that these heroes are not very good, or you don't have them, or you're not going to use them, or you think that the things that these exclusive gear do are not very important. Keep in mind that the more exclusive gear in the game for stuff like Cataclysm amulets, for example, or bangles, stuff like left side gear just as a whole, and things like Wings of Grace right side exclusive gear is a good thing, because exclusive gear gets better hammer rolls, which is huge, and also it's just simply easier to get good substats on exclusive gear. So this will allow you to round out your sets a lot easier, which is nothing but a good change. There's also 10 of them, and some of them, like Alora's, changed the game completely. And Boreas, which I'll get to. Anyways, I'm going to try to go through this pretty quick. Xeris, the first use of Enslave, which is his ultimate, which spawns 4 Souls of the Damned, instead is 5. So it's functionally a 25% damage increase on the first ultimate. Next, we're getting to Zillitu. Oh, also with Xeris, this may also affect later summons as well, so this actually might make him a lot better. Zillitu, remember I said she got a couple of different things. This makes it so when Empress Might triggers, increases Zillitu's attack by 8%, which is huge, and Empress Might immediately reaches max stacks. Anything good for Zillitu is great. She used to be an OG GOAT, and she's really fallen off since. Next we get to Xena, who is one of the most underrated units in the game. She requires a lot of creative usage, but she's very good. This makes it so upon her first death, her initial redeployment time is reduced by 15 seconds. If you don't know anything about Xena, basically you place her down for about 20 seconds or so, she hits like a monster truck, and then she fizzles out, hits like a noodle, and the whole idea is you pull her back and then you place her down. Okay? This is really good for her kit. Moving on, we're getting to Boreas, who, like I said, is getting to become the best AoE mage in the game. I think it's going to be undebatable, or impossible to debate after this. During Eternal Ice Haven, which is his ultimate, Frozen Purification, which is his auto attack, the AoE, it deals damage with 10% penetration. As if he needed more. Boreas is already strong enough, especially with his A3. This is ridiculous. 10% penetration is insane in this game. Goes through defenses. holy cow, is that a big boost right there. And that's not even as big as buff. We'll get to the BS that is his artifact, okay? We'll move on. Twin Fiend makes it so that each Meteoric Shower from Meteoric Strike, his ultimate, restores 3% rage to Twin Fiend. That's like 9% without his exclusive. With his exclusive, it's probably a little bit more. Moving on to Beatrix, so we have increased the max stacks of Spirit Drain by 4. To kind of simplify it, this increases their attack by an extra 4%. Beatrix is great, but it's not the craziest exclusive gear. Now we get to Tallulah. After Enchanted Ritual is activated, all 4 spirit effects now heal adjacent allies once with a 100% multiplier. A little bit more healing. It's okay. It's something. And then we get to Allura, which is another huge one here. So, for Allura, the main issue with her in Gear 3, ignore all the pop-ups, I'm so sorry. We move on to Gear 3. One of the main issues with Allura in Gear 3, especially 24, 23, 22, is Gear 3, 22 plus, is very RNG. The boss just kind of decides what it wants to attack randomly. So what ends up happening is whenever you have to use Allura ult for the damage and the chaining, she becomes visible because she's invisible every time she's not in her ult, but you need her ult. So then she becomes visible and she can get sniped by the boss. It's 100% RNG. It's freaking annoying, right? Now, what if there was some way to make her invisible during the ultimate? Well, that is exactly what this exclusive gear wants to accomplish. The exclusive gear makes it so that when casting the ultimate, no longer removes invisibility, so she's always invisible no matter what, cannot be removed. Huge, especially for Gear 3 like I mentioned. And then her attack now increases by 6% when invisible. This is just a permanent 6% increase. This is an insane exclusive gear. Really huge. Especially if it's Cataclysm. Oh my goodness, is she going to be so much easier to use. Next, we're going to Anai. This one's actually really good for Boreas Codex. She now increases all burning damage by 35% when she's deployed. May be useful in Abyss. I'm not sure. People will have to try it out. Next, we get to Beelzebub. Beelzebub's isn't crazy. Plague of Ruin from himself and summons now trigger twice consecutively. This is like magic resistance reduction and a little bit of damage. I don't think his damage output's very good, or should be very good. I think it should continue to be kind of mid. It's not a crazy change, but it is still something solid. Now we get to the Demon Soldier. These ones are big, except for the first one, which Frozen Drifter has an increased chance to inflict Winter Spite. These are the guys, the little gremlins that go in and they like freeze your tank and make it so everyone else can walk through. They're so frail that this is going to do nothing. Nothing. These are one of the worst Demon Soldiers in the game. Doesn't matter. But now we get to the strongest Demon Soldier of all time. These guys are now getting nerfed, which is good because these things are ridiculous. They've been terrorizing high-level GVG. The second you get these to level 5, I think they destroy 99% of defenses effortlessly. You just have to figure out how to use them. They're a bit hard to use, but they're ridiculous. All you gotta know is they burn, and they kill tanks, they kill platforms, they kill fighters, they kill healers. It does not matter. As long as they buff someone like a Garnet, or buff someone like Rare Archers, or Bookkeepers, or anything, they melt everything on the map. It's stupid. It is stupid. And they're changing it, where Chaos Flame continuous magic damage per second from burning is adjusted from 30% to 20%. That is a decently large loss. Then we're getting Chaotic Blessing, continuous magic damage adjusted from 60% to 40% per second. This is a pretty big loss as well. And then also just reduces the attack by 20%. Now this is obviously a big loss, but I think if you have level 5s, you still will get a decent amount of use. This is actually a very solid change. They're no longer to be the strongest Demon Soldier definitively for everything, but they're still going to be quite decent. And I think it's a good change. Now, is it enough? I'm not sure, but either way, I will take it. It's going to make GVG a lot more bearable. We're also getting some more stuff here. You can pause it if you want, but the mystery demon chests are not in the game yet, so I'm going to skip ahead. Now we get to 4 artifacts. All of these, I would say, are the best in slot for these heroes. These are all very good. Starting with Talon. We're going to get the exclusive artifact that increases attack by 10%. This also translates to defense in her ground form. And it reduces the number of attacks required to trigger Overgrown's enhanced attack by 2, which is good. And in Berserker stance, her ground form, basic attack restores 2% max HP, and triggering Ground Stomp, the strong AoE ability that she triggers pretty often, restores 10% max HP. That is huge. So this is not only a replacement for Icarus Chalice, which is great, it also increases her damage in general. This seems like it'll be best in slot. Massive exclusive artifact. Really, really, really good. And then we get to the bullcrap of Boreas. He's getting an exclusive artifact. Increases attack by 20%. I assume this is going to be 30% equal to a tot when max leveled. These are like all base, I'm pretty sure. Not only does it increase the attack, during the ultimate, when casting his auto, which he casts pretty often, there's a 25% chance to cast it 2 consecutive times. So, one of the strongest hitting abilities in the game that hits across the map with one of the craziest ranges goes bam bam. Sometimes. You're gonna proc this at least once or twice during the ultimate. If you get lucky in, say, GVG, you could proc it like 4 times in a row and just stomp everything. It's gonna be so dumb. It's gonna be so RNG. I both love it and I'm scared for my life. So, I don't know about that one. Really spooky there. But, I mean, if it's fun, it doesn't matter. Next we get to Yuri. Yuri is getting exclusive, which increases single target damage. And Needle of Torment, which is her basic, prioritizes enemies with the lowest HP to attack. Finally, she's no longer going to be completely random. For stuff like anti-air, her randomness really, really bothers me. That's good. Next we get to Tallulah. Increases healing effect by 25%, which is good. Butterfly flight speed, which is good. And Enhanced Ritual sends 1 additional butterfly. Do I think all these Tallulah changes are going to make her meta? No. But anything better is good, right? Maybe she'll be viable and better in some areas. We're also getting some Honor's Gauntlet changes. Tower of Deception. Turns out there's stage 35. I swear 30 is impossible right now, but they're nerfing those to make it easier. And then we're getting new modifiers as well. United Front. This confirms that United Front is coming back. I friggin' love this mode. This mode was a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to have it come back because this was some of the most fun I've had in this game. For the next United Front, these optimizations will take effect. Adjusted the number of United tokens obtainable per stage. I assume this is a buff. Then we're getting tokens will no longer be cleared after the event ends and can be carried over. This is going to be like Immortal Codex, it reads to me, which is kind of huge, where it comes back every once in a while and you get more rewards there. And shorten the time to match with Defense Assistant after matchmaking timeout. I don't know what that means. Doesn't matter. Now we get to some of the more juicy stuff, honestly. Others usually has nothing. We're getting Arcanium Crystals, which seems like it's just to save gold by making guaranteed enhancement success. This is kind of unimportant. But the thing that is important is Advanced Gear Recasting Hammers. This confirms that we're getting some of these. Dismantling Ancient Mythic and Variant Mythic Gear. Now is a chance to get shards for Advanced Gear Recasting Hammer. Assemble the Enhanced Gear Recasting Hammer to recast Ancient Mythic and Variant Mythic Gear. This is huge. People have been asking for this for a long time, and it makes sense why they didn't add them because they're already skewed to roll very well. But even having these in the game is a huge, huge deal. Now I assume they'll give you these retroactively for the Mythic Gear you sold before, because they did that with the last time they added something like this. That is huge. We're also getting related achievements to Honor's Gauntlet and Tower of Deception, so it's a reason to grind it. Item previews to Apex Shop. Preview period displays the currency required to purchase items and the preview end time. You can purchase specific items after the preview period ends. That's interesting there. We're getting Titanic Ruins and Drake Chasm reward chests now have an additional chance to drop Trial Keystones, which is actually very good. People have been asking for more ways to get them. I think this is a good alternative to just straight up buffing the rates. I like that. We're getting a daily purchase limit for Huge Stamina Potion and Diamond Shop adjusted to 10, which is interesting. Stamina daily purchase limit adjusted to 30 times. After reaching 20 purchases on the same day, the purchase pack will gradually increase. Fixed an issue with the chest opening effects did not match the rewards. That's huge. Less gold chests. Enhanced the interface to better showcase the new Demon Soldier drops. Hero tag optimization. overall, this is a huge update. We're getting a lot of buffs to previous heroes without outright buffing them, which is big. We're getting a lot of needed GVG changes and a lot of cool stuff like ancient mythic gear, or recasting hammers for the gear. I mean, this update is great. I like this update a lot. I think this is a W once again, and I'm very excited for it. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to cover it quickly. I'm gonna go to bed, so hope you guys are doing well, and Destined signing out.